CVFM. Bernie Does the Borough, proudly sponsored by Teesside's Healthy Living Pharmacies. There's always a pharmacy open near you 7 days a week. Ask your local pharmacist for free and confidential advice on smoking, alcohol, weight and sexual health issues. You don't even need an appointment. Visit teessidepharmacy.net to find out more. Get your opinions on the air and have your say on the Borough game. Bernie Does the Borough on CVFM. It's 5 p.m. and the games are finished. The scores are set. And now it's time to hear from the Northeast's football mouthpiece. It's time for the Alternative Radio phone-in. 90 minutes of spleen-venting, honest opinion calls. Get involved with the biased banter by calling 01642 688 104. It's time for Bernie Does the Borough on CVFM.
Welcome to the Borough here in CVFM 104.5. If you want to give us a phone, 01642 688 104. If you've just walked in the door and you think, what was the score today? It was a very, very important game. Unfortunately, Middlesbrough lost 4-3 against Fulham. And it's just sod's law. Ross McCormack, the lad who we were chasing for a couple of years when he was at Leeds United, scored a hat-trick, 2 from the penalty spot. For me, considering the importance of the game, I was majorly disappointed in the first half performance. Didn't really create anything, were no real threat in the final third. Bamford and Vossen were isolated, didn't get any service, and it wasn't to the second half. No doubt we had a rollicking at half time. We came out, we looked a different outfit, but we didn't really come to the fore until we were reduced to 10 men. We're losing 3-1, George Friend's been sent off, and all of a sudden we come to life. It was as if we were to say, there's no pressure now, we're getting beat. We can just get the shackles off now and go for it. And that's exactly what we did. Adam Reach came off the bench. He scored, as did Ayala. And Kike, he got the third. And it was 3-3 for a long period. It was ball into the box. Demi had ventured forward to try and get the elusive winner. And lo and behold, he's out his goal. Nobody tracked back. McCormack breaks away. He gets his hat-trick and gets the match winner. And it was a majorly disappointing ending to the game. Norwich, of course, they were 1-1 at Rotherham today. The early kick-off. Watford, they're now 4 points clear. So Watford, they're more or less there. In fact, I have to check. They might be there. Bournemouth, of course, play Monday night. For me, they need to get beat the next 2 games. Even if we won next weekend against Brighton, they need to get beat the 2 for us not to for get in there. But for me, it's the playoffs, and we all knew the playoffs a couple of weeks ago was confirmed. That was great. But I'm majorly disappointed today. I mean, Fulham, we have to really, let's strip it down. Fulham, 18th in the division. They're a poor outfit. I mean, our opponents at the minute at the top of the league, Bournemouth and Watford, went there during the course of the season. I think they scored 11 goals between them. Hey, don't get me wrong, as a professional, Fulham could have got the cigars out, thinking of the beaches and what they're going to do in the summer months, but they went out and did a professional job today. But as I say, my biggest gripe today, we didn't come to life until the second half when we reduced to 10 men, and by that time everything had gone, in my own opinion. If you want to get involved in your views, 01642 688 104, give us a phone and let's discuss today's game. Are you majorly disappointed like me, or are you happy because we're still in the playoffs and we still got a second bite of the cherry? Hiya, Frank. Good evening, Frank.
Hiya.
Come on in,
Bernie,
Frank.
all right?
Hiya, Frank. Come on then.
Yeah, well, like you said, Bernie, I think we threw it away in the first half.
Yeah.
And that was where the damage was done.
Yeah.
Come to life in the second half.
Yeah.
Too little, too late. I mean, I was just listening to the commentary of the game, and Maddo and that, he's talking about the playoffs, and we can do it in the playoffs and that. But you don't know with this team, because I think you hit the nail on the head. The pressure tells on them, and they actually throw the pressure off and they start to play better football.
Yeah, well, the pressure was off. The pressure was off when we're getting beat 3-1. There's no pressure then. We throw caution to the wind. We can be adventurous as we like, nothing to lose.
That's right.
And that's when we look to part, we look to business. But by that time, even a draw was a bad result today for me. But
it was really they'd done well to get the draw. But
they did fantastically well.
At the end of the game. I mean, that was a big misunderstanding with was it Adama and
but obviously there was a bit of chit chat going on as to who's going to cover for Dimmy venturing forward, and everybody slept in, and lo and behold, McCormack
nobody took the responsibility to do that, which that's not really good enough, is it, Bernie? But I don't know what to say, to be honest with you, Bernie. It'd be easy for me to have a good go and have a go at someone, but I don't think it's the right time at this moment, do you?
No, I want to praise the 10 men. George gets sent off. I mean, we conceded 2 penalties. Ayala on McCormack, and obviously Rodriguez with Friend, and Fred get his marching orders. But that's when we rolled up a sleeve and we really stood up and came up. We stood up and we were counted, and we went for it. And well done to the 10 men. They gave it their best shot. And getting back to 3-3 was no mean feat with 10 men. But as I say, when you lose that last goal but you're reflecting the first half, first and foremost.
No way back at all.
Would
you say it was maybe silly for him to go up there? Do you think they should have maybe just settled on a 3-3?
Look, no. I think again at 3-3, a draw is still not good enough, Frank. For me, we need to go for it.
I don't think it was a draw. No.
And pushing a lad like Dimmy up who can ruffle feathers. He's a big commanding figure. He can unsettle defenders. If we'd have won 4-3, we'd have been hailing everybody. But obviously, if nobody covers for him, there's a problem.
To be honest with you, Bernie, it does pee me off a little bit when I think that 10 games back there, the players themselves were saying every game's going to be a cup final, so they knew what was at stake.
Yeah.
They knew that they had to go out there with a special type of grit and determination, a special type of mindset. And they haven't done that.
I looked at the first half, and if I was a neutral watching the first half, and you say one of the teams challenging for promotion, it wouldn't have been Middlesbrough. And that in itself tells you what happened in that first half performance. If I was in the dressing room, Frank, I'd be quizzing my teammates as well. I'd probably be quizzing myself and saying, hey, why were we so poor first half? Why were we not adventurous?
So much at stake, and yet so lack of motivation, so lacking in getting the grips with the game. They've got it in them to do it, but it's not going to be handed to them on a plate. Maybe they can handle the pressure, Bernie. Maybe that is one of the problems with this team. It's the pressure that builds up, and once the pressure's off, they said, okay, we'll just go out there and play a game of football, but the pressure wasn't there. But I mean, if you're going to be challenging for anything, the pressure's always going to be there, isn't it? You can't avoid pressure.
Well, you should create your own pressure. The manager will create it for you, or he tries to take a bit of the heat off you. But as a player, I mean, when I was a player, I wanted to score as many goals as I could, and if I didn't score, I put myself under pressure that I had to score the next game, and I'm sure there is lads like that. But collectively today, first half I thought we were poor. Second half, 10 men.
There's no recovery. There's no way back, really, was there, from that first half? Really, they did come back, but really, it was maybe against play of the first half.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bernie. I don't know. What do you say? I mean, is it just the playoffs now? We used to hope that they can deal with the.
Well, I mean, Watford's there, aren't they? Practically, and you've got Bournemouth have to get beat 2 games, and we need to win next Saturday, and they need to get beaten Monday and the following week. And I don't think that, hand in hand, I don't think it will happen. It can happen, of course it can, but my gut instinct is it won't happen. Bournemouth are a good footballing team. They are creative. They do go for it. They will go to win the remaining 2 games. They won't go cautious. That's my only gripe. We're a wee bit cautious. We're cautious. I'm not saying we go away and we go gung ho, but certain games this season we've been cautious. And I prefer that. I look at with admiration. No, that I don't look at admiration in my own team, but I do look at Watford and I do look at Bournemouth. And for me, they're up there in merit. They score loads of goals. They're exciting. They're good in the eye. They're entertaining, and I like that style. We do that on occasions, but a lot of occasions as well. We're cautious.
You haven't taken the bull by the horns.
And that's the wee downside. But it's not doom and gloom.
Going back to the Christmas time, people were saying, these thrown away points are going to be maybe at the end of the season are going to, really hurt the team, and it's coming through that. There's been a lot of games there where they should have had them played out of sight, goals up, game shut down, and that's the end of the matter. But they've allowed teams to creep back in, or they haven't started. This is where it tells this is where you look back on the season's games and you say, if only.
That's right.
It's too late.
That's right. I mean, getting the playoffs side, look, we're delighted we're in the playoffs, but obviously today was a massive game. We're looking to drag it into the final game, and we're still dragging it into the final game, but you know,
Benny, you go back to them 10 last games.
Yeah.
They are all really pressure games. They're all really final games if you're in with a shout.
Yeah.
You know, they're all cup finals.
Yeah.
And the players were talking like that. And it sounded good to me. I thought, well, at least they understand what's ahead of them. But the talk was there, but the real will wasn't there at times, was it?
Yeah, I mean,
it talks cheap.
Yeah, as I say, we knew we were in for today. It was never going to be easy, although they're 18th in the division. This is the thing, Frank. We're going to a team who, they've just stayed up with the skin of their teeth. They've been ranked poor this season.
Yeah.
My hand in heart, I mean, I was with my mates today and I was saying, hand in heart, I said before the event it'd be a draw. I did say that to my mates. I didn't put it on the social network, but I did think that. My other mate says a draw, another one says we'd won 1-0. But I thought we were in for a toughie today because everybody just kept concentrating in Brighton and if we do that, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, Fulham, they might put up a bit of a show here. And as I say, to rub the salt in the wounds, the name McCormack keeps coming to the phone thinking, a hat-trick against us. He's the guy we chased for a year or whatever. He was at Leeds United. And he's went down there.
Is that the one who was at Leeds?
Yeah, that's the man. McCormack.
I know the name, I just wasn't sure. Yeah, I remember that now, yeah.
So that just rubs a wee bit more salt in the wounds for me, that a guy we were chasing, who we all fancied. I was certainly a fan of his, still am a fan of his. He was the guy that done the business today. So disappointing. But as I say, we lick with wounds, we've got a week off, and then we're back to the grind in a sell-out capacity crowd at Riverside, something
I don't think these breaks do the Boro any good, to be honest with you, Bernie. Have you noticed how we haven't really come back after these breaks?
Well, I think at the minute, because Boston and Bamford were obviously struggling with injury getting into today's game, they did well to play through it, although Boston came off. And I think a week's break will obviously hopefully make them a wee bit fitter, Frank, for next weekend and the playoffs. So be it. Yeah. Anything else, Frank?
No, I don't know, Ben.
So
I'll save it all up for the end of the season, then we can have a good natter.
Okay. Cheers, Frank. Thank you very much.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the screen here. I'm not being rude and looking away from the camera, but it's Brighton Hove Albion 0, Watford 2. It was an early kick-off, of course. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leeds United 2. Birmingham 1, Charlton 0. Cardiff City 3, Blackpool 2, Fulham 4, Middlesbrough 3, we've mentioned that. Huddersfield 2-2 against Blackburn Rovers, Ipswich Town 2, Nottingham Forest 1, Millwall 3-3 against Steve McLaren's Derby County, Reading 0, Brentford 2, Rotherham 1, Norwich 1, and Norwich were winning for a period, and Wigan 0, Wolves 1. And when you look at the league table, Watford 88 points, so they're more or less there. Bournemouth 84, who play on Monday. And of course, if they won, that would be it. Middlesbrough 84, Norwich 83. So it's 4 teams challenging for 2 positions. If you want to get involved, 01642 688 104.
Your local station for Middlesbrough, CVFM. Bernie Does the Borough, proudly sponsored by Teesside's Healthy Living Pharmacies. There's always a pharmacy open near you 7 days a week. Ask your local pharmacist for free and confidential advice on smoking, alcohol, weight and sexual health issues. You don't even need an appointment. Visit teessidepharmacy.net to find out more. Have your say on the match. Unedited. Bernie Does the Borough on CVFM.
And if you want to get involved, 01642 688 104, give us a phone, discuss today's game. Unfortunately, Middlesbrough lost 4-3 down at Craven Cottage. It was a 94th minute goal, I think it was. Ross McCormack, who says at the top of the show, was a Borough target for a long period. We know his qualities, we know he's a goal scorer, and he was to rub insult to injury today. He grabbed a hat-trick to seal the victory for Fulham. If you want to get involved, your views, of course, 01642 688 104. Let's go to Bill. Hi, Bill.
No, Ben.
Come on in, Bill. You must be gutted.
Oh, devastated, Bernie.
Yeah, I'm gutted. Yeah.
I've pulled the curtains across at the top, death in the house.
Yeah. You're sitting in darkness.
I mean, if you'd have told me that they got 3 goals and they wouldn't pick up 3 points, I wouldn't have believed you.
That's a good point as well.
But they are a funny team, Fulham. I said that to my mate.
Yeah.
They are one of these teams that they get funny results, but. that's devastating. That then.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I knew it was going to be a difficult game today, but as you say, 7 goals? It's a lot of goals in a game, and to score 3 in your travels is no mean feat. And then, but Bill, what I say is for the top of the show, we go there, we're fairly cautious and a bit subdued in that first half when we're really looking to come out the traps from the off, like we did in previous games like Norwich and whatever. And we don't really waking up and come to life until we're reduced to 10 men. We're 3-1 down, and then we say, hey, no pressure, let's go for it. And we look the part, we look the business. But why did it take so long?
Yeah. I mean, it is. You know, it's hard to fathom, isn't it? And so, I mean, the point is, if they win, that's it. Bournemouth on Monday.
That's it. If Bournemouth win Monday, that's good.
The goal difference is so vast. Yeah, so it's bitterly disappointing. I mean, you know, I've won on the fixed odds today, and I'd sooner
have lost it.
I'd sooner throw over the back garden. And I mean, you know, I suppose when you look back on it, when they've equalised and they're going for the winner, you know, I mean, I think I'd have said that would do me now, you know, a point, because they've then got to win, Bournemouth. You know what I mean? Because we would have been a point in front of them.
And I know what you're saying, Bill. But it's, hey, look, again, I always think fortune favours the brave. Me being me, I would have probably odds my goalkeeper, get up there, let's get a 4. I would have, but I'd have made sure somebody covers us. You know, they made sure there was cover at the back. But Demi, he's a big commanding figure. He can ruffle feathers and unsettle defenders, and that's what we're hoping to achieve. But obviously it backfired, and in hindsight we can all pick holes in it and say,
as I say, I'm not blaming them for
no, I know that.
They were on a roll,
and
it, you know, I mean, they had, if you can believe it, 3 chances in the last 10 minutes. So, you know, as you say, once they hit the straps, it is hard to fathom why. I said I would have been feeding them on raw meat, and I would have got at the team. I mean, they have nothing to play for, Fulham.
No,
exactly. So I would have really busted into them. I would have done.
But see, the thing going into today's game, that's why, I mean, all my mates are saying, oh, Brighton Hove Albion, it's a sellout, it'll be a great day, and that could be the day we get promoted. And some people are saying, oh, if we miss it in that, we've got the playoffs, Wembley. And I'm thinking, calm down. Fulham. Nobody's really talking about Fulham. It was as if it was a formality. And I've been there, Bill. You would have probably watched it. Leicester City, last game of the season at Ellison Park. We have to win, get promotion. We get beat. Leicester had nothing to play for.
I was there.
And today it's a similar scenario. They have nothing to play for, but the professionalism kicked in, and they went for the victory, and they've achieved it.
Well, you know, I watched them. They went Watford. They were lucky, you know, in the first half. I mean, they missed 2 sitters. Them. I mean, I suppose nerves and everything else. But as I said, for me, I would have gone for it. And it's, you know, I'll just repeat, it's absolutely ruined my weekend. I mean, and everybody else's. I mean,
I know.
It knocks the puddings out of you, you know.
It does. I mean, looking at it now, right? Watford 88 points, Bournemouth 84, Middlesbrough 84, Norwich 83. Now, if Watford won the remaining game, that's 91. If Bournemouth won the remaining 2 games, they're on 90. And if we won the last game, it's 87.
I mean, Watford are up, so
Watford's there.
Absolutely, they are up.
They're there. But obviously, the one team who's going to win it.
They blew it as well, didn't they? Norwich. They were winning.
Yeah, they won 1-0.
And they got, you know, they won each, so I mean they blew it again. Derby done the same thing. They've so I mean Derby's not in good form, but it's you're looking for crumbs of comfort, and it shouldn't be, you know. It shouldn't be. I mean, I thought they'd go. I really did think they'd go down there at the end and do the business.
I mean, I says to Frank, the previous caller, Bill, I'm not a betting man. It was just we've written a few things down on a piece of paper. I went for the draw today. I thought it'd be a toughie.
Well, yeah,
I did.
I mean, you know, as I say, if you look at it, if you were said, you know, Middlesbrough 3, you would have said, well, that's fantastic. That's them home and away. Well, with our defence, they don't, you know, they very rarely slip up, and well. It's bad news, Brian, that.
And but what's going to happen now? Obviously, George's going to miss games. What's going to happen there?
Yeah, well, he misses. If it's a straight send off, it's 3 games.
Who's going to play left side?
Well, they'll have to bring a husband back.
I'm saying, if big important games, you bring the lad who may be a fine player. I've not seen him enough to comment, but
I haven't.
It's thrown him in at the deep end, and this is.
He is a left back, Bernie.
I know he's a left back. But
you don't want somebody who's right-sided playing left.
No, I agree with that, Bill. I'm saying that's great, but we don't know how good he is, and these are crunch games. These are big games now.
Well, I would,
to throw a novice into that environment is a tough ask for a young kid.
Well, for me, if he's the only legitimate left back we've got,
yeah, I think he is.
He would be in.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I wouldn't be swapping the back four for anything like that. I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was unfortunate, Bernie, that he had to go back. The right back who went back to
Fredericks.
No, the other lad.
Yeah.
The Chelsea lad. Was it Chalice? Callis.
Oh, Callis.
Yeah,
Callis.
Because he did a bit of form, him. He did a bit of form, and it was a pity that he had.
What about the front lads? I mean, I was saying during the week in the article in the Evening Gazette, I was saying, Kiki could be the match winner. He could be a hero again because he's been on and he grabbed the goal of the day, 3-3. And just, that could have been the turn. I was thinking, get in there. Kiki scored that. I was bumming him up, and
I've never jumped so high. I've never jumped so high since I was 19. There you go. Bernie,
I can feel the pain.
It's like a boat in the
cream crackers. Yeah, I understand.
God, Bennett. So I can't see any. If it comes out in the wash and we get to Wembley and things turn out, you'll look back on it and say, "Oh, it's magnificent." But at the moment, it's sad, bad news.
Yeah, again, people keep talking about Wembley. They forget we've got a home and away game to play and win it. It's very tough.
And statistics tell you the team that finishes third very rarely go up. It's strange.
Yeah, well,
and it's because I think that they've had the legs cut from under them. They're there and then it's gone.
Yeah,
but
I still say, Bill,
today they fought back, and I suppose.
Yeah, I have to say, I still think we're good enough to win playoff games, but there is a lot of luck element and rub of the green and bit of fortune, and there's loads of stuff goes in the mix now, and we just need to calm down and lock ourselves in tonight, hand under the bed to tomorrow morning and get up and start again, Bill.
Yeah, send telegrams to AP McCoy.
Okay then, Bill. Thank you very much for your call. Cheers, Bill. Cheers. And Bill, obviously, typical Boro fan, he's wee bit down the dumps, as we all are. We're all disappointed. The lads coming back in the train or however they got there, they'll be disappointed. Especially that first half performance. Second half, they deserve the praise. They deserve the plaudits. But, I've been there myself, and there is a bit of pressure. And we showed that. When the shackles come off, there was no pressure. We really came to the fore, and came right back in the game, and we looked at business. But it took us so long to get going, and why? And why were we so good with 10 men and not 11? Let's go to Pigman. Hi, Pigman.
Hi, Bernie.
Hi, Pigman. How are you diddling?
I'm all right, Ben. How are you?
Come on, then. Let's hear your verdict in today's game.
Well, first half we weren't very good, to be honest. The first half. And then, as I say, we came to life in the when we went down to 10 men.
Do you agree or disagree with me, Pigman, that when we go 3-1 down and reduce to 10 men, we're fearless in? There's no pressure on us. We're finished as a team. We might as well throw caution to the wind and go for it and see what we can get.
I just feel. I've just been talking to my brother there. When we were 3-3, Bernie, I think we should have just made sure we got at least a draw.
If
Bournemouth draw or get beat on Monday night, you know what I mean, we can still go up automatically with the last game.
But it's a tall order. We need to beat Brighton, and they have to get beat 2 games for us to achieve that.
Yeah, but even if Bournemouth draw against Bolton on Monday night, Bernie, it still goes down to the last game. Now I think we're playoffs now.
I know what you're saying. Go to the last game, but obviously the goal difference in both is. I understand that. Yeah, hey, fair comment, but I'm not going to gripe about that, Pigman. You know, I would have been probably the same, thinking, Dimmy, get up there. We've came for 3-1 down. We're dead and buried. We've brought it back 3-3. Let's go and just win it. You know, it was the last dying embers of the game.
But Bernie, like you say, why didn't it start off like that?
Well, again, I look at it. There's real pressure from the start, and all the pressures. There's nothing on Fulham.
Yeah.
And we're a wee bit cautious and hesitant, and we're not really free flowing going forward. We're not creating much. But when we go 3-1 down, everybody says, hey, we're going to have a go here. So it told you a wee bit about the sort of a mindset of some of the players, you know, which was disappointing. The first half was poor. Second half, well done to the 10 players. Very good.
Obviously, it was unlucky to get sent off. It was just obviously he had to make the challenge, and he just mistimed it. And,
yeah.
You know.
But I've said throughout the programme, and for me, certainly, the target that we were chasing for so long, McCormack grabs a hat-trick just to rub the salt in the wounds. You know, it's typical, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what I mean? He hasn't done much all season because he comes up against us.
Yeah.
And we were after him, obviously, at the time. And I don't know why we didn't get him in the end, but he obviously wanted to put a show on against the Boro, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know... But, I mean, I'm glad Bernie went in the playoffs. I mean, I took that at the beginning of the season. I'm not going to get down about it.
No, hey, look,
you know
we would have all settled for the playoffs at the start of the season. But obviously, getting so near the end of the season and being where we are, knowing that we won today, we get right into the last game, and is a wee bit disappointing. But hey, we'll be behind the team. We'll all get behind it as a town, and hopefully we can get through the playoffs. But
that's what I'm saying, Ben. It's a sellout, isn't it, against Brighton?
Yes,
I'm led to believe.
Yeah, sellout.
It's going to be it's going to maybe a little bit down after what's happened today, but. You know, I mean, if we
I hope those Glory supporters and they want a refund. You know what they're like, some of the Glory supporters that's just jumped in the bandwagon for the last
the tickets
game.
Will be on eBay, won't they?
Yeah, they'll be punting their tickets now, you're right.
You know what I mean? But, you know, I mean, as I say, I'm happy. They've come a long way under Cranker, considering what we were doing with Mowbray. You know, and we can't knock it. I mean, it's been a great season.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's plenty of other teams that'd like to be in our position, you know, and to be fair, he hasn't spent a great deal, has he? He hasn't had money to spend.
He's spent a few quid, but he's had a lot of backing for, obviously, Mourinho's helped him out with players, and Bamford's the biggest one. He's been the kingpin for getting the goals, and, you know, he's looked the part, and obviously won the Championship Player of the Year, and well done for that.
Yeah,
you know, so he's had his contacts. If you're saying great season, is that great, irrespective if we got or not?
I still think so, Bernie, because as I say, Crankers, you look what happened last season, how we tailed off towards that end. Mm-hmm. It was about 8 to 10 games without a goal or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He hasn't been here that long, and maybe, you know, for once he has improved. You know, he's improved season on season, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's did a great job, and the players have did a great job. My only gripe, and I would say it to Cranker or anybody at the club, was we were bringing in defenders. Possibly another centre forward would have been more beneficial.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's the one thing. And I keep saying it, not just now. I say it's at Christmas time, January time. You know, I'm a forward-thinking guy. I like strikers. I want to see more goals in opposition. And both Watford and Bournemouth, they've got that. They've got more than us in that department. They did bring players in. Eve McClan brought strikers in. Yeah. And we hesitated.
Going on the last few seasons, though, Bernie, our goal difference, goals for has improved really good, hasn't it?
It has, but not good enough.
We were always round about like +1 or 0 or something. I mean, it was our defence, but we couldn't score. But I think we've done a bit of both this year. More goals would have been nice, but I mean, you know, I'm not going to get down about it, Ben. I'm going to obviously support them through the playoffs and see what happens.
Of course.
You know, I mean, we're as good as any of them teams in the playoffs.
We are.
Think the other teams that have gone down with the parachute payments, you know, they're with the exception of Norwich. You know what I mean? Them teams would swap Boro's place any day.
So look, of course they would. Of course they would. We're still sitting great in a great position, and we look forward to the playoffs. But there's no. The thing is, you go on to next year. You know, we're jumping the gun here, it's hypothetical, but we go to next season, there's no guarantees we'll be up here challenging again, is there? Or do you think it's an automatic next year? Do we go a step further next year?
Well, I think if we're still in the Championship next year, we probably need a bit more reinvestment, and we'd have to really consider ourselves as one at first or second position, wouldn't we, surely?
Yeah, I mean, I just look at Derby County. Derby County, obviously, last year they were very good in the eye. They were scoring goals. They went to the playoff final at Wembley against Harry Redknapp's Queen's Park Rangers. They outclassed them on the day and get beat 1-0. And here they are, they're sitting 6th. They're only 2 points above Brentford. You know, so
I mean, next season, if we're still in the Championship, there'll be a lot more pressure on us, I would have thought. Like, because we'd definitely be one of the favourites, if not the favourite, with the bookies, wouldn't we? I mean, I would have thought, like, you know.
As I say, you're probably right. We don't want to be too doom and gloom. Today was a bad result. We can't hide that. We beat 4-3 with a team that's 18th in the division, who are a poor team, and I think where they're going on holiday, the holiday destinations.
Yeah.
But as the previous caller says, and it was a good point, if you tune in your radio and you hear that Boro scored 3 goals, you take it that we've won the game.
Yeah, you would.
3 away goals, you expect to win a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was just one. But you know what it's like, Bernie. Anyway, Boro always do it the hard way.
We do. You're dead right.
Have it easy, do we? Sat back in the chair, watching them go up. We always have that bit of fun like we had with Bradford and Chelsea all them years ago.
Hey, look, if it turns out like that, that would be a dream and a great scenario, and we welcome it. We look forward to whatever's going to happen. We're going to look forward to it, big man.
Hopefully, and you know, can you imagine what it'd be like down Wembley Way if Boro get there in the playoff finals? It'll be fantastic, won't it?
Yeah, and I'll be there, pig man.
Yeah,
I hope I don't bump into you.
Pushed down in my wheelchair as well. My ankle's still, my leg's.
Oh, how is it? How is the ankle?
I'm getting there, Bear. My leg's not too bad now, because I broke my leg in a couple of places, and then obviously my ankle as well. So my leg's alright. It's just my ankle I'm sorting out now.
Hold on, what do you mean you broke your leg as well? You broke your ankle. That's your part of your leg, isn't it?
No, I smashed my ankle totally to bits, and then I had broke my leg in 2 places as well.
Dear
I do a job properly, me, Bear. When I have an accident, I do a proper job.
Okay, hey, Pigman, good luck.
Yeah, you take
cheers,
care,
thank you very much for the phone. Cheers, mate. Ta-da. And if you want to get involved in your views, talk about your ailments, talk about the Boro, talk about Wembley, 01642 688 104.
Your local station for Middlesbrough, CVFM. Bernie Does the Borough, proudly sponsored by Teesside's Healthy Living Pharmacies. There's always a pharmacy open near you 7 days a week. Ask your local pharmacist for free and confidential advice on smoking, alcohol, weight and sexual health issues. You don't even need an appointment. Visit teessidepharmacy.net to find out more. Bernie's back, and he's now on CVFM. It's Bernie Does the Borough.
If you want to get involved in your views, 01642 688 104, give us a phone, discuss today's games, and obviously games coming up. Smoggy Till I Die on the Twitter sphere, he says we threw 1 point away. Why oh why? That would have put us second if Bournemouth lose on Monday. I will be gutted. Martin Pilley says, why did we throw away the draw when it would have kept us in the hunt even if Bournemouth won on Monday? Ian Craven says, Bernie, why didn't we take the point at 3-3? No need for Dimmy to go up. And Albert says, you know, why didn't we just hold on to that point? Hypothetically, yeah, we all know, we should have done that, but I'd have probably did the same and says, Dimmy go up there and grab the goal, because we were in the ascendance, we looked the part, they were on the back foot, we went for 3-1 to 3-3, a minute and the clock to go. But if the covering players would have did their duties, we would have got the point. So you can't blame Dimmy. Dimmy's been adventurous, and he's no doubt they've planned it, that if it happens in the last minute you go up, try and get the goal. He's did that, but there's no cover at the back. Let's go to Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. Come on then. You sound very subdued.
Hey?
You sound subdued. Down.
Well, you know what? I woke up this morning and just thought I've got a really bad feeling because something's going to go wrong here.
Why? Why was that?
And I don't know. I just thought they're near the bottom, and it usually happens. The teams near the bottom come to the teams near the top, or play the teams near the top and cause a bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And when it got the 23, I was like, right, settle for a point. I'm thinking we've had that. It's been that kind of game.
Yeah.
I thought, just settle for a point and then we'll be all right. But I don't know. I mean, I can't see why the penalty was given. Like, cause that didn't really look like it.
Yeah, well, as I say, hey, I see both the penalties. I thought there were penalties, and nobody really complained about that. Everybody seems to be complaining now. Well, the first half we weren't we weren't at the races. You know, we didn't have that spark, vim and vigour that we did against Norwich and previous teams. You know, we went out there and we looked lethargic to a degree, and yet the second half, no doubt they've had a rollicking and ear bashing for Karanka at half time. They've come out a different outfit. When we get reduced to 10 men, Daniel, we really looked the part, you know, and looked as if we wanted to win the game. But it didn't really come to the fore until we were 3-1 down. Then it was as if we've nothing to lose here, you know, we might as well go for it, and we did. And we did it very convincingly. And when we went 3-3, everybody's up in arms about Demi going forward and why didn't we settle for the draw. Do you agree with that?
Well,
you know, we would have been, if we'd have hit the point, we'd have been 85 points. So we'd have been second in the league, taking into that last game.
Well, I can see that point. I mean, I'm a little undecided whether I would say keep the point or go for the win, like. But I suppose obviously there was the hunger and the desire in the players there to go and get the win. I suppose. But I don't know. But
I mean, it's a catch-22, and in hindsight, we all know Demi shouldn't have did this and we shouldn't have done that, but we did it, and we didn't cover properly, and that's what, you know, we conceded the goal.
I mean, who was it? Was the ref today? Was it?
I don't want to know any refs. None of them's any good for me.
No, exactly. But a mate of mine's just been saying that. I think he said it was Kevin Friend. He's supposed to be a Premier League ref. And,
he's a Premier League refereeing in the Championship.
Yeah, so that's it a lot. But anyway,
I'm not going to point the finger at the referee today.
I know. They can't do that. Like, but next weekend, I think against Brighton,
going to be a full house, great atmosphere.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. But
where are you going, like? You can't just disappear.
I'm at work.
Oh, you're at work? Okay.
I'm at work, yeah, unfortunately.
Right, okay.
But I don't know what the tables are looking like. But
well, the tables, Daniel, it's fairly simplistic. If Bournemouth won on Monday, that's it. That's it. Doesn't matter about next Saturday for us. If Bournemouth won and they got 87. They got 87 points. Watford's in 88, obviously, with that game in hand, and we can only get to 87. And obviously, Bournemouth's got a greater goal difference, so that would be it. If they won Monday, it's good night. It's playoffs, here we come.
Yeah, what I'm more worried about is if we lose against Brighton, and obviously the team in the playoffs winning, is there any? I'm trying to think of the mathematics of it. If we lose the other teams that everyone wants to win, do we drop out of the playoffs?
People keep saying, if you finish this position and you play sixth place and you play third place, at the end of the day, I don't buy it. It doesn't matter. We know there's only Norwich, Ipswich, Derby, and ourselves are going to be in the playoffs. It doesn't matter who we play. They're all fairly decent teams. McLaren's team are a good team on the day. Big Mick McCarthy's Ipswich Town is a tough team.
Yeah, they are.
Norwich we've seen last week, but we can beat them. So it doesn't matter who we get. Come on. It doesn't matter who we get. You know this all, if we finish this, and you can try and work out what you want, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantees. If you play the bottom team, Derby, who are 6, if you play them, does that mean we're going to beat them? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter who you play.
Means nothing, yeah.
No, it means nothing. But so you're disappointed, Daniel, but you still live in hope that maybe a few.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if Bournemouth go out and get beat in Monday, and that can happen, then it all goes to next weekend. Yeah,
I mean, at the beginning of the season, I thought, well, if we're getting the playoffs, great. But obviously we've been at the top two quite a while, and then I had these couple of blips, and other teams that came out of nowhere, like Norwich and that kind of thing. So
the one gripe I've got as well about the league and the division and overall about football, I think with such crucial games and points at stake and where we're going, I mean, the teams that get promoted can win 80 to £100 million with spin-offs. I think they should all be played on the same day at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, we know that television and money rule the roost, but for me, morally, it's wrong. As football fans, they should all be played at the same time, and we've all got the same. But that's not the case. We all sit now and stew to Monday to Bournemouth playing. How are they going to do? I don't think that's a fair playing field.
We'd better go again next weekend. I know all the games at the same time, but why, like, lunchtime
kickoffs,
set of fixtures. It's
again, telly rules the roost and money. It's telly and money that rule. And I just think that's a shame. I mean, Watford's had an early kick-off, so we get into the game later on thinking they have won, puts a bit of pressure on us. If we won today, it puts pressure on Bournemouth on Monday. Obviously we've no one, so they go in a wee bit higher thinking, hey, we can do this, and that's it, we're up. So for me, they should be played at the same time, especially in the last maybe 6-7 games. They should all be played at the same time, same day, because there is I'm not a fan of it. It's always been the case, but I'm not a fan of it. Anything else, Daniel?
No, just I hope we obviously win next week, and whatever we end up in the playoffs, we give it a good goal. We could end up in the final and back
at Wembley. Would you be going, Daniel? Would you dare afford to go to Wembley?
Well, this is the United thing. I booked a holiday.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Magaluf. Less said about that, the better.
Hold on. Are you going with the lads? Or are you going with your bud?
Yeah, going with the lads. Yeah,
good lad.
I go there on the Wednesday.
Right.
Obviously, the Monday before that's the playoff final. So if we get there, I'm going to be a bit annoyed, but I think I'll just be able to afford it.
Good lad, Daniel. Okay, Daniel, thank you very much for your call. Cheers, mate. Thank you. If you want to get involved, your views on 642 688 104 if you've just walked in the door. Boro were beaten 4-3 today down at Craven Cottage against Fulham. Ross McCormack, the Boro target, for a long time, scored a hat-trick. It's just sod's law, and that just rubbed a bit of salt in the wounds for me personally. First half, I have described the performance, what I seen at the start of the show, but if you just walked in the door, first half I thought we were a bit off key, off colour, as an attacking force, as a unit. We didn't really test their goalkeeper, and we didn't really come to life. We lost a goal at a bad time just before half time. Turner scored, put it over the line. That's a bad time to lose a goal. And then we come out second half and we're trailing 3-1. George Friend gets sent off. It's an illegal challenge. He gets off on a Rodriguez. And then really we looked the part, and we really were more direct and confident, and there was more arrogance about the play, and we went there to try and go and win the game. We eventually go 3-3, and then the dying embers of it, I think it was 5 minutes overtime, and the 94th minute, Dimmy has been told or decided to go into the box for the corner. There was one or two players considering and having a debate as to who's going to cover on his behalf. Nobody really done that, and McCormack scored a hat-trick. Let's go to Jono. Hi, Jono.
Evening, Bernie.
Come on in, Jono. I know you made the trip down to Craven Cottage. I've said all I had to say about the game. You were there live. What game did you see? Go on.
Yeah, we're just going back on the bus now. Right. So you're in flat as a pancake.
Flat as a pancake.
Just the question is, Bernie, why wasn't the first half like the second half?
Well,
the first half we just didn't create any. I mean, I think we had one shot.
Yes, one shot, the free kick
that rolled on the ground.
Yeah.
And apart from that, why did it take for us to get a man sent off for us to start playing?
Well, what do you think? I'll tell you what I think, Jonah. What do you think? Why do you think?
I honestly don't get it, Bernie. I don't get why we have to go down to 10 men to start playing again.
Well, can I give my opinion, Jono? I think we had a sort of a cautious outfit. Away from home, we don't want to be willy-nilly, but we were too cautious in the first half. Didn't create anything apart from the free kick. When we go 3-1 down and a man down, then we throw caution to the wind. It's like Steve McClaren against Bucharest. We're trailing 3, and then we think, hey, I tell you what, let's go for it. And there's no pressure then. The pressure's lifted. We've nothing to lose. So everybody starts going, creating and scoring. And for me, that's what happened. And why we looked more vibrant with 10 men as opposed to 11.
Well, I agree with you, Bernie, but if you watch the first half, right, and you paused the game in the first half and said which team stayed in the league, you would have said Fulham.
Jono, I actually says that before you came on. If I was a neutral watching today, I would have said Fulham are the team that's challenging for a promotion spot and not Middlesbrough. And that's a sad indictment, you know. But why, Jono? We played last week live on TV, high pressurised game against Norwich. From the off, we get a goal early doors, which greatly helped the own goal. But thereafter, they defended for our lives. We were brilliant defensively. We still had a great chance second half when Bamford missed it. But today, the first half, we just... I don't know why. You know, surely we must be pumped up to come out from the off, to go to the opposition.
Well, I think, one of two reasons, if not both, Bernie. Either we can't handle the pressure, or we're simply not good enough, which we've said for a while. I think there's plenty of games where we win games, but not convincingly. I mean, like I said, over recent weeks, you watch things like Bournemouth who win ugly, and I can't remember really winning ugly that regularly. And today showed, like, we just never got going. And for me, like, we didn't look like a team that's going to work. And, I mean, as it stands now, obviously, we're playing sixth, so Ipswich, isn't it, as it stands?
John, I must ask you, obviously, if Bournemouth won Monday, that's it, we're in the playoffs. We know we're in the playoffs anyway, but we're officially... what was your slant on Demi going up for the final minute, the last minute, to try and get that elusive goal? What was the general consensus of the fans? What were they thinking, saying?
Yeah, we've had a good chat about it after the game, Bernie, and I would not have sent Demi up.
Okay.
I would have took a point, 3-3, let's see what Bournemouth do. Because to throw it all away, I think that's a shame. I mean, the lads, after the game, their heads just dropped, they collapsed to the ground, and you could tell they were down and out. Whereas I think if there was a point, you've got a little bit of hope going into the last game.
But what was part of that? No, because we came from 3-1 down, we're in the ascendancy, we're looking more likely to score, and we've thought, hey, come on, let's go and win it. What a remarkable cup. Can you imagine if we win it with Demi scoring the winner, or whoever's scoring? You know, it would have been absolute dreamland. From 3-1 down to 4-3. Go on.
I don't know if you saw, Bernie, but when it came to the corner, right, there was 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Then he came up. Yeah. Tomlin went and stood on the halfway line.
Yes.
Now, why not swap them over? Dinny's not a massive lad. He's not as tall as the centre back. So I think Tomlin's going to... If the ball falls to one of them people, I want it to be Tomlin in the box. Because Dinny's probably shanking it into the stand.
That's a good point as well.
Why not put Dinny at the halfway line and have Tomlin in the box? And that was another thing to do, Bernie. Every time we put a ball in, again, there was no in the box. I mean, Bamford, for me, Bernie, he might as well have not been on the pitch.
No, Bamford looks as if he's... Bamford wasn't in today, now it was Vossen, and Bamford looked a bit leggy. I don't know if he's still carrying a bit of the injury, but he wasn't at his best. Excuse me.
Hey, credit to Keeper. He came on, and the 20 minutes he was on, he did more than Bamford did in 90 minutes.
Yeah, well...
I don't know what was up with Bamford's head. I don't know if because he's won this award, he thinks, right, you know, I've got my award, I'm looking forward to next season now, new contract with Chelsea, but he really needs to pick up his game for the last game against Brighton, because Burnley was shocking today.
Yeah. Okay.
He never linked up with Vossen, and I actually felt for Vossen when he came off, because I thought, you shouldn't be coming off, it should be Bamford. Despite his goals, some performances, he should be coming off.
And what about what about the George friend? Obviously George is out now, he'll be out now, won't he? So what are we going to do there?
Well, apparently it's one game.
Yeah, one game. I don't think it includes the playoffs. I think the previous caller says 2 or 3 games, but I think it's just the final game, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, hey, I know negative thinking. It doesn't really matter what happens because we're going to finish third anyway, or whether it's fourth.
Right.
So, well, I think the crowd will give us a big buzz next Saturday. And
yes.
I think we'll get something from the game, whatever it might be. But I'm going to fight and make the points to step up. But obviously they're not going to make it easy for it. But looking at the playoffs, because obviously Ipswich is 6th.
Ipswich is 5th, aren't they? They're 78 points. I'm looking at it now, John. So it's Middlesbrough 84, Norwich 83, Ipswich Town 78, Derby 77. But Derby, I'll tell you what, they're sweating because Brentford's in 75. So that goes to the last game as to who's finishing in the top 6. So it's McLaren will be sweating. Who would you like, Jono? Yeah. Who would you like? I mean, for me,
I wouldn't like Ipswich because we never win at Portman Road with them.
No, Portman Road's it's not been a happy hunting ground over the years. Certainly way back when I played. So they would want to avoid them.
And get your plan. Yeah.
But does it really, Jono? Is that superstitious nonsense? You know, does it matter who we play?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends whether you believe it all, doesn't it, but coming into the game, we were all thinking, this is it, this is our moment, but we all got on the bus and we're all saying, same old boy, we always let you down,
So John, we had the Pigman on earlier, and Pigman was saying it's been a great season, despite if we're in the playoffs. Well, we are in the playoffs. I says if we don't make it into the top flight this season, is it still classed as a great season? What's your opinion?
Yes. Because, well, we all would have took playoffs at the start of the season.
Yeah.
What people forget, Bernie, is you easily remember the points that we dropped at, like I said, at Sheffield Wednesday, down at Charlton, away at Forest. You think of games where we could have got points from, and we could be promoted by now. But we always do it the hard way, and I mean, if we're ever going to get out of this league, it's only going to be via the playoffs. We're not going to do it the simple way, because that's Middlesbrough.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think everybody still deserves. Well, the team should deserve the reception. Hopefully, they get next week home to Brighton. Because hey, you know, they've done terrific all season. But like I said to you, Bernie, the only worry is next season now. Because if obviously players are going, it's a big if Karanka goes, if he comes elsewhere, then we're back to square one again. And I mean, if you look back over recent seasons, teams that haven't made the Premiership after a big push have gone on to fail, really. I remember the year the Palace came up, they beat Watford in the playoff final. Watford have been rubbish the last couple of seasons. It's taken them another 3 to 4 years to get in the position where they are now. I don't know why, but yeah, it really knocks the team that we're losing the playoff final.
So what you're saying, Jono, is if we weren't to make it this season, touch wood we do. But if we weren't, you think the foundations is gone, we need to start building again?
Yeah, I honestly do, Benny, yeah. Because, well, like I said, you look back at other teams, it really knocks them to 6. Players are going out the door, the manager could go out the door, and yeah, you lose that momentum, and I think it's hard to bring it back. Especially, if you look at this, like I said, Benny, our top scorer, Bamford, take away his goal, I'd love someone to tell me where we'd be in the league without him, because I don't think we'd be in the top 6.
Yeah, Bamford scored some crucial goals, John. You're right in saying that, and he's looked to business. And the odds are he's not going to be here, is he?
No. Oh, no. If he's not down at Chelsea, then he'll be at another Premiership side.
Would you sign Vossen?
Yeah.
Or would you wait to see what division we're in? Or wouldn't you sign him? Or would you sign him?
Yeah, it would come down to money, Bernie. If we were in the Championship, and if he was on a free, I'd probably take him on another year's contract.
Right.
But if we were paying, a couple of million for him, I'd be tempted to look elsewhere. But I think it's kind of a play to his style, Bernie, because like I said, we rarely cross it in the box, or we rarely, get anyone on the end of anything. Now, I don't know if that's the players we've got, whether it's Trent's tactics, but for us, we can keep crossing till Christmas and we won't score. So we need to think about a different way. Well, certainly approach the Brighton game. And we should need a bit more options in our play, because it's getting quite, predictable, especially for the opposition.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jono, listen.
How are you feeling, Ben, anyway?
Yeah, I'm deflated, Jono. As I say, the playoffs, we know we're guaranteed that, which is a great thing. But today, majorly disappointed with the first half. I was looking for more to come out the blocks from the off and go for the jugular. But we were cautious, hesitant, and we didn't come alive until we reduced to 10 men. At 3-3, I was hoping we could get the fourth, but unfortunately it was them to get the fourth, and it was good night. But we'll have to tell the tale, Jono, and we'll live for next Saturday. We'll all be on our knees on Monday night, hoping that Bournemouth gets stuffed. Listen, Jono, safe journey back. Say hello to all the lads in the bus for me. Cheers, Jono, thank you. Not severe run of time. I'll be here next Saturday, CVFM. We'll be discussing the Brighton Hove Albion game. Let's hope Bournemouth get done on Monday night. And I'll be back between 5 and 6 next Saturday. Thanks for joining us.
Bernie Does the Borough. This show has been an independent production on CVFM.